Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's that time of the week again. Premier League predictions time. A special midweek edition of Premier League action is almost upon us. And this, of course, is the video where I talk about the games, analyse them, and of course try to give predictions on how I think each and every single game will turn out in this round of fixtures. And of course, we've got a bonus fixture, a special bonus fixture for this round of fixtures, as well as Arsenal are playing twice alongside Wolverhampton Wanderers, of course, as their fixture that was meant to be played in late March has obviously been rearranged due to the Carabao Cup final. So we are going to be covering that game as well. Before we get into all of them games though, and obviously give talk, analysis and predictions, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. Use and abuse that section, people. Talk to me on how you think each and every single game will pan out. Give me your thoughts, comments, opinions, feelings, but most of all, of course, your predictions, because after all, where would a Premier League predictions video be after all without predictions? Sound good? Great. Let's get on with things then, shall we? Let's kick things off with Tuesday night's games. And first and foremost, we've got action from Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea will be taking on Leeds United. And as you can see, I have gone with a 2-1 win in favour of Liam Rossinia's side. Now, Chelsea in the league under Liam Rossinia, since of course he took over from the previous manager Enzo Maresca, has obviously been very, very good. They've had some favourable games, but they've actually gone and done their business in those favourable games to a point now where they are looking good for a Champions League spot. And of course, coming up against Leeds is another favourable game, but it's not exactly a foregone conclusion. We know that Leeds have put together some good results in the past few months. Of course, they're still Leeds, so they still have the tendency to obviously fall off from time to time, and of course not do so well in certain games. But you would expect Chelsea to win here. You would expect Chelsea to win here. You would expect them to have the quality, the depth, and everything else to show for it to get the win. That isn't to say it's a foregone conclusion. We know that Leeds have been a bit of a thorn in the side of many big teams, not just Chelsea, but this season as well. They almost got something out of Manchester City. They got points off of Liverpool, of course. So we know that Leeds can often throw a spanner in the works, but I just got a feeling that Chelsea, with the form that the likes of João Pedro's in, Palmer got a hat-trick at the weekend. I know two of them are penalties, but Palmer got a hat-trick at the weekend. I just think Chelsea will have the match winners to win the game on the day. So I'm going 2-1 to Chelsea come the final whistle. Next up, action from the Hill Dickinson Stadium, where Everton will be taking on Bournemouth, and I've gone with a 1-1 draw. This is going to be a very intriguing tie for a number of reasons between two sides who are very inconsistent this season. Good results followed by bad results, a mixture of performances, Jekyll and Hyde, that kind of thing. Hard to predict these types of games, which side is going to turn up. Everton are still seemingly finding it a little difficult to bed into their new stadium. But Bournemouth, like I say, they're hit and miss, Bournemouth. They look good, and then they can look bad. And then they can look awkward, and then they can look comfortable. It's so weird as far as what these two teams are concerned, which is why I've decided to go down the middle. I've called it down the middle. I've gone 1-1 come the final whistle here. Next up, this is going to be a huge game. Huge game to be played out at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where coincidentally Tottenham will be taking on Newcastle. I've gone with a 2-2 draw here. I've gone with a Desmond. I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because I don't know which side is going to turn up from either of these two teams. Again, talk about Jekyll and Hyde. We've seen the good and the bad of Spurs. We've seen the good and the bad of Newcastle, especially away from home. Newcastle's away form isn't exactly miraculous or amazing, and at the weekend, of course, they even lost to Brentford in incredible fashion with a dramatic late winner. As far as what Tottenham go, look, Tottenham looked okay for about 20 odd minutes against Man United, and then as soon as Christian Romero decided to be Christian Romero, it all went horribly wrong for Tottenham. He'll be a loss in this game. Actually, it could benefit Tottenham, to be honest with you. Losing Romero could be actually a beneficial thing for Tottenham. Who knows? We shall see over the course of the next 4 games that he's suspended. But, like I say, I don't know which side's going to turn up. Spurs have the qualities to get in behind Newcastle and to cause them problems. Newcastle have the qualities to do the same back to Spurs. It's going to be a very intriguing battle, but one that I think Bruno Guimaraes could be the difference maker from that midfield role. He's in very good form. Of course, he came back to the Newcastle team with a goal and an assist at the weekend, of course. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to this game because anything and everything could happen here. Like, it could be any kind of result, any kind of performance. Anything could happen in this game. I'm calling it down the middle. I'm sticking with 2-2. I'm going with my gut on this one. I really can't decide because these two teams can cancel each other out. They can put each other to the sword. They can do whatever they want. It's that kind of crazy game that I've got no idea what to expect in. Next up, West Ham United take on Manchester United, and I've gone with a 3-1 win in favour of Manchester United at the London Stadium. Not only do I think United will win, not only do I think United will get the 3 points, but that United fan will finally be able to cut his hair, and that is going to be something that may overshadow this game a little bit, but of course, Man United could finally make it 5 wins on the bounce. West Ham come into this game, look, there can be no pushovers. We know that West Ham in the past few weeks have picked up some good results. We know that West Ham in the past few weeks have actually done pretty well for themselves in getting themselves into a position where they could potentially fight off relegation. And their win at the weekend against Burnley was obviously a massive win in terms of, obviously, beating a fellow relegation candidate. This game is going to be different, though. They're coming up against a Man United side who, high on confidence, high on that new manager bounce. How long that will last for, I don't know. I don't know whether this is like a ticking time bomb thing or whether this is going to be a sort of case of this is it now and it's only up and it's only upwards and onwards from here for Man United. I'm not 100% sure yet. Obviously, I want it to be the whole ticking time bomb thing, but obviously only time will tell. But I don't see it blowing up here. I think that West Ham, for as good as what they have sort of been these past few weeks, I know the Chelsea result will obviously come back to bite them. They'll be kicking themselves for not holding on to at least something from that game. They're putting themselves into a good position to fight relegation, but this might be one of those games where you kind of have a bit of a free swing at it. If you get something, you get something. If not, don't worry about it too much. Just move on to a more favourable game. I think Man United will put them to the sword here, though. I think Man United will probably go a goal up. I think West Ham will probably peg them back, get an equaliser, probably against the run of play, just a kind of bit of a reality check. But once that reality check sets in, that's when United will probably go up another gear. They'll get the win, they'll get the 3 points, and that guy can get his haircut. Yeah, I don't want United to win, though. Don't want Man United to win. But unfortunately, that's the world that we live in right now. Next up, action from Villa Park as Aston Villa take on Brighton and Hove Albion. And I have gone with a 2-1 win in favour of Aston Villa. Now again, talk about Jekyll and Hyde, talk about inconsistencies. You talk none other than Brighton and Hove Albion. A team that has the potential to turn up when they want, but also has the potential to wilter away and falter and stutter, a bit like what I'm doing right now, when they want. And at the weekend, in a 1-0 loss to Crystal Palace, that was none more evident than in that game. Aston Villa, on the other hand, a point against Bournemouth, but you can clearly tell that injuries on a small squad are really starting to take effect. They've lost ground. They're potentially looking over their shoulders right now at the likes of Man United and Chelsea, who are chasing them. It's not looking great right now for Unai Emery's side when you look at the bigger picture of things, but things could obviously turn around here. And against Brighton, it's a favourable game, especially being at Villa Park. You probably expect Villa to get the win. Brighton getting something from this game wouldn't be out the realms of possibility, but I just think that maybe Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, it might just be enough to get them across the finish line for Aston Villa in this one. So I'm going with a 2-1 win in favour of Aston Villa. Next up, Crystal Palace are taking on Burnley at Selhurst Park, and I've gone with a 2-1 win in favour of Palace. Now, Palace weren't exactly amazing these past few weeks, but they did pick up a very good victory against Brighton on Sunday. And that is obviously going to maybe give them the confidence that they need. A win over big rivals, their first win in however many games, I can't even remember how many games it was on the top of my head, but it hasn't exactly been great for Crystal Palace in recent weeks. You may feel like Burnley maybe could sense something here and get something out of this game. They are obviously in desperate need of points. They did lose to West Ham, a fellow relegation struggler at the weekend, so they desperately need points. But it does look like the writing is somewhat on the wall for Burnley going forward, and I don't see it getting any better here. I would like to say that maybe they make the relegation battle a bit more exciting by getting a win, but unfortunately I just don't see that happening in this one. So I'm going for Palace to win. I think that they'll have more firepower in the attacking third to get the job done. Jørgen Strand Larsen may even get his opening goal for Crystal Palace in this one. And then we can have that infamous Strand Larsen chant that Wolves fans started, and hopefully it's been adopted by Crystal Palace because it is an absolute belter. Next, we're moving on to the Etihad Stadium where Manchester City will be taking on Fulham, and I've gone with a 3-1 win in favour of Manchester City. Now, if these two teams play out the absolute phenomenal 9-goal thriller that they played out earlier on in the season, we could be in for a real treat here. However, I don't think that is going to be the case. I think that was basically a one-off, and I think that Man City may just put Fulham to the sword here, and you know, probably they should be doing. Let's face it, City, massive win at the weekend against Liverpool. Massive win, especially to come back from a goal down, final 10 minutes remaining to win 2-1 against a Liverpool side who may not exactly be at the peak of their powers, but let's be honest, they don't have a great record at Anfield. They really don't. So that's going to be a massive confidence boost and a big mental block, you would imagine, for not only Guardiola but for those City players as well, especially because those City players really did drag them out of a hole that day. So if they carry on from that performance and from that victory, they very well could put some pressure on Arsenal. Going into their game on Thursday. City play before Arsenal, so this is a very good opportunity for City to put pressure on them. Fulham won't be any pushovers, don't get it wrong and twisted by any stretch of the imagination. They will still create chances and opportunities, of course. We've seen them give a lot of teams a good run for their money this season, but ultimately I just think City will have too much about them in the final third to really put Fulham to the sword. So I'm going with a 3-1 win in favour of Manchester City. But like I say, don't rule out Fulham. Don't rule out Fulham getting something from this game. Just don't rule them out. I wouldn't be completely shocked, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Next up, we've got action from the City Ground, where Nottingham Forest will be taking on rock-bottom Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I've gone with a 1-1 draw. Now, I could see Forest winning this game. Home ground, home team, few good results in recent weeks, the weekend aside. Well, it wasn't even the weekend, was it? It was Friday night. But Friday night against Leeds aside, they've picked up a couple of good wins under their belts. I just think Wolves will get something in this. They're obviously, I mean, both teams are in desperate need of points. The relegation battle's heating up. It's a big relegation clash, this one, especially with West Ham picking up some points in recent weeks as well, and obviously Leeds doing better than what a lot of people expected. These two teams really do need to find a win in this one. For me, Forest should be winning. Forest will probably be the ones that you back to win, of course. They're probably the favourites going into this game. But if Wolves can rediscover that little bit of fight that they had around about the New Year, middle of January time, where they were really going at these kinds of teams, there's no doubt about it that they can get a win here and attempt some sort of great escape. There's no doubt about it. However, as much as I can probably see Forest winning, and they would probably be my team to choose if I was to pick a winner in this one, I'm calling it down the middle. I'm saying that the points will be shared, and that does not help either team, in all honesty. So, I'm sticking with 1-1. I'm sticking with my gut instinct. A point will not help either one of these two teams. Next up, Sunderland, Stadium of Light, welcome Liverpool to Tyneside. I've gone 1-1. I've gone 1-1. And that's being kind. And that's being kind. Look, Liverpool are about to face the only team in the Premier League to be unbeaten at home this season. I'm not confident going into many games anymore, if any. I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect. I mean, we were a Federico Chiesa goal line clearance away from losing this game at Anfield to Sunderland back in, when was it, December? I don't know what to expect right now. And look, we very well could go on and actually do the unthinkable and actually be the first team this season to beat Sunderland at home. That could genuinely be the case. We've got the tools to do it. We've got the players to do it. Salah, Wirtz, Ekitike. We're going to be without Szoboszlai, so it looks like we're probably going to be playing Curtis Jones at right back, because God forbid we'd actually put a proper right back in that position in Calvin Ramsey. Szoboszlai's injured. Joe Gomez, I think, is not fit enough to play, so it looks like it is probably going to be Curtis Jones at right back, which terrifies me. Either that, or we're probably going to go with Endo. So yes, it could be looking better. It could be looking better for us. It could be looking better for us. But no, look, Sunderland have been absolutely incredible this season. Worthy of that unbeaten run at home. They have properly made the Stadium of Light an absolute fortress. They've gone about their business in the most professional way possible, the proper way to do it with a newly promoted side. Make yourself difficult to beat at home, and whatever you get away is a bonus. And that's exactly what they have done, and they've done that to perfection. Against Liverpool, look, we know that they've got the opportunity to hurt Liverpool. We know that if they go direct, we know that if they're physical, we know that if they bully us, they can get at us. I want to say Liverpool win. Of course I do. I don't ever want to go into a game and say Liverpool lose. Or even drop points. But this season's different. This season's different because of players, manager, club messing up this season. Mainly manager, but you know, go back and check out the streams and videos that I've done on Slot and Liverpool this season. But yeah, I want Liverpool to win, of course I do. I just can't see it. I unfortunately just can't see us winning, and that's why I've gone with a 1-1 draw. Points to be shared. I've messed up here. That is the wrong pictures. Bear with me 1 second. The last game of this week is Brentford versus Arsenal, and I have gone with a 3-1 win to Arsenal. Arsenal to win this game. Simple as that. Simple as that. Arsenal to win this game. Look, Brentford have done incredibly well this season. They've done much better than I was anticipating. I put them to be relegated. That's how badly wrong I've got a prediction this season. I put Brentford to get relegated. However, you know, Brentford will pose a threat. Brentford will cause them food for thought at times. Brentford have the players to play quickly, to get in behind the Arsenal defence and things like that. But ultimately, Arsenal will have the qualities in the final third to score more goals than Brentford. And ultimately, the midfield to control the game at key points and key times. And defensively, like I say, they'll be solid enough to somewhat neutralise Brentford for the most part. Not saying that they'll have it all their own way, Arsenal. Of course, the modern day game suggests that Brentford will get one or two opportunities that they desperately need to take to have any hope of getting anything out of this game. But ultimately, it's Arsenal's game to win. And again, they are going into this game wanting to, at the very least, to maintain their 6-point gap over Manchester City. Depending on how City's game goes, they could obviously stretch that lead if the opportunity does present itself. And then, of course, they go into next week's game. They'll be having an extra game being played because of, obviously, like I said at the top of the video, the Carabao Cup final. This game being rearranged to next week. Arsenal will be taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. They'll be making the trip to the West Midlands to take on Wolves and to obviously battle at Molineux. And I've gone with a 2-0 win to Arsenal. Look, the game in December was incredible for many reasons. 2 own goals, winning it for Arsenal. Wolves thinking that they managed to get a point against the Premier League leaders. It was incredible, but I just think that this time around, although this is a big banana skin in waiting and lying for Arsenal, I just think that this time they'll maybe attack it with a bit more professionalism. They'll be a bit more switched on, a bit more focused. And of course, like I say, the opportunity to put more points on the board before obviously City play their game in hand will obviously be too good of an opportunity for Arsenal to pass up. And so I'm expecting a professional performance, 2-0 at the very least. Because again, Wolves have been difficult to beat for many of the big sides this season. Like, they have lost. They lost to Liverpool. They lost to Chelsea. They've obviously lost to Arsenal, as I previously mentioned. They lost to City. But apart from maybe 1 or 2 of those games, they've not exactly been battered pillar to post. They've not exactly been destroyed by those teams. City maybe aside. I think they will be tough to break down. But for Arsenal, it's all about getting that first goal. And once that first goal happens, the nerves will settle, they'll calm down, they'll control the game, and they'll go on to kill the game off at a time that suits them. And that's why I think, at the very least, 2-0 is what we can expect from Arsenal's game against Wolves in next week. And there you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, but most of all, predictions of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling, though. Let me know in the comments section what you make of all the games that are coming up this week. And, of course, the one game that we've got coming up next week between Arsenal and Wolves. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, feelings. But most of all, of course, I want to know your predictions down below in the comments section. So please do get involved down there. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.